Hello, thank you for joining me for this informational video. My name is Kyle Packer. I'm a planner with the town of Oro Valley and the lead staff reviewer reviewing the proposed general plan amendment and associated rezoning for this project south of Moore Loop and east of Rancho Vistoso Boulevard. Please help town staff by sharing this informational video with your neighbors and other residents of Oro Valley to help spread the word about this project. I mentioned this informational video is for a proposed general plan amendment and rezoning proposal. I'd like to clarify that this proposal is from a private party and is not the town's. All private property owners have the right to request land use changes, and it is town staff's responsibility to oversee this process. This video is meant to give viewers more information on the general plan amendment and rezoning being proposed. I'll also discuss the public participation process and give a brief overview before turning it over to the applicant to discuss their project in greater detail. Finally, I'll let you know how you can stay involved as this project moves forward. The project site is outlined in blue on this slide and is approximately 41 acres. It is immediately bordered by Valley Vista to the north, Big Wash to the east, and open space to the west and south. Beyond this, Horizons, Reflections, and Mesquite Crest are to the west, with commercial to the south, including Safeway. We are at the beginning stage of the development and public participation process. This video serves to provide information about the project prior to the first neighborhood meeting, so you can be prepared with questions at that time. For all general plan amendment and rezoning applications, the town requires applicants to reach out to residents before formal applications are submitted, so you can share comments and questions with the applicant and town staff at the beginning of the process. A neighborhood meeting is scheduled for October 3rd. After this meeting, the applicant will provide a formal submittal, which staff will review before moving to further meetings. The applicant is proposing a design for 56 lots planned for 1- and 2-story detached homes with one point of access off Moore Loop. This requires a Type 2 general plan amendment from school to medium-density residential and a rezoning from cultural institution to medium-density residential. The uses allowed in medium-density residential zoning include attached housing units and detached single-family dwellings as proposed. For comparison, the current cultural institution zoning allows a public or charter school to be built, as well as other uses like a church, museum, or cultural center. This property is currently designated as school use in the general plan, and the applicant is proposing to modify this to medium-density residential. Similarly, this property is zoned for cultural institution use within the Rancho Vistoso planned area development, and the applicant is proposing to shift this to medium-density residential, or MDR zoning. Please note that while they share a name, the medium-density residential general plan designation and the medium-density residential zoning within the Rancho Vistoso planned area development are separate, with the first identifying what the voters who approved the Your Voice, Our Future general plan would like to see in the area, and the second providing design guidelines such as permitted uses, setback requirements, and height limitations. When the Rancho Vistoso PAD was adopted in 1987, this area had a zoning of medium high density residential. In 2009, this property was identified as a possible school site for the Amphi School District as part of a larger general plan amendment and rezoning process, and as a result, was given the general plan designation and zoning it has today. The applicant now seeks to shift the property to medium-density residential designation and zoning, a lower intensity than the property originally had. Now I'd like to go over the town's review criteria for formal submittal, which is the next required step of the process. First is the town's general plan. I'd like to start by briefly discussing what the general plan is. The Your Voice, Our Future general plan is a voter-approved long-range policy guide that drives town decisions and embodies the community's values. It includes the vision, guiding principles, goals, and policies, as well as the general plan land use map, which shows the proposed general uses of all land within the town. The plan, including the land use map, was ratified by voters in 2016. Property owners have the right to request a land use change to their private property known as a general plan amendment. The general plan intentionally acknowledges that amendments would be made throughout the lifespan of the plan, and specifically states that the amendment process be used because of its robust public engagement process, as shown on this slide. With that in mind, The plan includes amendment criteria for evaluating amendment proposals, which includes general conformance with the vision, guiding principles, goals, and policies, a thorough review of how neighbor concerns have been addressed by the applicant as part of their proposal. With that in mind, I'd like to turn the presentation over to Mr. Paul Oland, the applicant's representative, who will describe the project in more detail. Mr. Oland, when you're ready.
I'm Paul Oland with Paradigm Land, representing the property owner and the developer. As Mr. Packer mentioned, the property is located within the Rancho Vistosa PAD along Moore Loop and the west bank of Big Wash, and is currently zoned for development of a school. The property was originally zoned for development of a medium high density residential neighborhood of up to 8 homes per acre, which could include things like townhomes, before the Amphitheater School District acquired the land. However, Amphi did not elect to build a school there, so the property is now proposed to revert back to residential use, but at a much lower density than originally planned. The traffic impact will be insignificant compared to the original planned residential density or a school, and the existing infrastructure can certainly handle it easily. The proposed single-family neighborhood will be very similar to the nearby subdivisions, being a mix of 1- and 2-story homes. The ridge lines will be preserved, as will the eastern end of the land, which Amphi had planned for installation of lighted ball fields. Being significantly lower than the Horizon subdivision and hundreds of feet away, this project will have no impact on views of Push Ridge. The proposed homes are to be on the same size lots as the Valley Vista subdivision and will be at least 100 feet from those homes, being separated by a drainage channel and landscaped buffer yard. This is truly an infill development and is entirely appropriate for this location. As town staff said, we're early in the process and haven't made a general plan amendment or PAD amendment submittal yet. We look forward to meeting our neighbors and discussing the project at our upcoming meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Oland. I'd like to conclude by reiterating the next steps of the process. On October 3rd, a neighborhood meeting will be held at Town Hall at 6 p.m. You'll be able to ask questions and give comments in person at this meeting, and additionally be able to participate via Zoom if you prefer. After the neighborhood meeting, the applicant will make a formal submittal. Applications for general plan amendments and rezonings require consideration by the Planning and Zoning Commission at a public hearing. They'll provide a formal recommendation to Town Council, who will consider the application at a public hearing for a final decision. Notice will be sent out in advance of all upcoming meetings. Additional information has been posted on ovprojects.com, and the website will be continually updated as the town receives more information from the applicant. Again, please use ovprojects.com throughout this process to stay informed. We'll continue to notify property owners who received a yellow postcard for this meeting and post the property with yellow signs for upcoming events. I'd like to reiterate, it's important to hear your comments and questions. Community participation is what makes Oro Valley such a special place. Please send any questions, comments, and requests to be included in future postcard notifications for this project to ask@orovalleyaz.gov. And please stay up to date by checking ovprojects.com under the project name shown on this slide. Thank you for watching this video, and be sure to join us for the upcoming neighborhood meeting on October 3rd.